You're welcome to another video of the course F5 Big IP Advanced WAF or ASM. In this section, I'm going to discuss and demonstrate geolocation enforcement, which gives the capability to administrators to allow or block incoming traffic based on geographic location of clients. We'll also discuss and demonstrate X forwarded for HTTP header, which help to extract the source IP address of clients and the location of the clients, even if the clients are behind proxy. Before we begin discussing geolocation enforcement, it's important to understand the HTTP X forwarded for header, which we'll be using in this demonstration. When a client makes a request to a server through a proxy, the client actual IP address is lost because the source IP address is changed to that of the proxy. X forwarded for HTTP header is an HTTP header that the proxy may add, including the original IP address of the client. This header enables the server to identify the true origin of the request despite it passing through one or more proxies. With X forwarded for HTTP header, F5 Advanced WAF can accurately detect the real IP address of the client even when the client is behind the proxy. This capability enables F5 Advanced WAF to effectively block traffic based on geolocation information. To demonstrate F5 Advanced WAF geolocation enforcement, we will use the policy created in previous lessons. Just to review, in the virtual server related to application hack it yourself, PHP auction virtual server, a security policy is assigned with the name of auction, and log is also enabled. And in the security policy, if we check the security policy auction, it is based on comprehensive security policy, and it is assigned to the virtual server PHP auction virtual server, and enforcement mode by default blocking is also enabled. In addition to that, in the section learning and blocking setting, we will enable learning, blocking, and alarm for all violations related to IP address and geolocation, especially access from disallowed geolocation, which is the main topic of this demonstration. To simulate sending traffic through a proxy to the web application using X forwarded for HTTP header, we will use Postman web application. In the Postman, we will set the request method to GET, and we will use the URL related to web application, which is auction.f5demo.com, and we will add manually the client IP address to the header with the name of X forwarded for. All other parameters are unchanged. This configuration enables us to replicate traffic passing through a proxy with the specified client IP address effectively. I chose this IP address, which is associated with the country Zimbabwe. I selected Zimbabwe because it was the last country listed in F5 Advanced WAF geolocation database. I found the sample IP address by searching over internet, the IP address range, and then here's it. And this is the IP address related to this country, which we are going to use in this section. To ensure that the IP address is correctly associated with the country in F5 Advanced WAF geolocation database, we will use geo-IP underline lookup command to find the location of any IP address. This command, if we enter, will confirm that this IP address is related to country stored in F5 Advanced WAF database. Before enabling geolocation enforcement, we will use Postman to connect to web application and verify that this IP address is currently allowed to access web application. We send and we can preview the result. And HTTP response code is also 200, which is okay, the connection to web application. If we check the result of the connection in event log, in the section security, event log, application and request, we will see that the access is successful and permitted. However, we will also notice that the geolocation and source IP address are not updated via XFF HTTP header. This is because we have not yet confirmed the system to trust X forwarded for HTTP header. However, if we examine the details of HTTP request, we can see that X forwarded for HTTP header is pointing to the IP address. Despite this, the source IP address and geolocations are not updated in the event log because XFF header has not been configured as a trusted source. Now we will configure the security policy to trust XFF header and enforce geolocation restriction in the section security policy, auction security policy, and in the section general setting we will see an option to trust XFF header, which is disabled by default. We will enable it, and we will also navigate to geolocation enforcement, and the last country in the list we will add into the list of disallow access to block traffic from this source, and then save and apply the new policy. These changes will ensure that traffic from Zimbabwe is blocked based on trusted XFF header. Now we will again attempt to access web application using Postman with XFF header set to an IP address from Zimbabwe country, and then we will send. This time the results show the access is blocked, demonstrating that geolocation enforcement is working as configured. If we check the event log also, in the section event log, we will notice that the traffic is blocked, and we will also notice that the value of geolocation and source IP address are updated using XFF header. Therefore, it confirms that geolocation enforcement and trusting X forwarded for header is working as expected.